Hey, so I just finished Mr. Slaughter, the third installment in the Speaks the Nightbird series, or the Matthew Corbett series, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Historical fiction written by Robert McCammon, and I love it. It is one of my favorite series so far. I have 6 more books to go. So you could say it's a little early, but you're deep. I'm deep enough into it to know what to expect when I open that cover. This was a great installment. This was very violent and a lot darker than previous installments. There's a gleeful joy you could tell McCammon writes with in this series. He genuinely likes to be back in New York in 1702. I think he gets a charge out of it. So there's a play pretend atmosphere. This sort of feeling of make believe and yearning for sort of the antiquities of colonial U.S. So that joy definitely comes through, but in this one, it gets dark. In this book, Matthew and Greathouse have to escort Mr. Slaughter from the nursing home, the assisted living facility, the psychiatric hospital he's currently residing in. You might recognize that if you read Queen of Bedlam. But this guy is sort of just an animal. And they have to get him out of there and take him to New York, where he's going to go on a boat and he's going to stand trial in England and probably get hanged. Capital punishment, because the guy is an animal. He's a beast. And so they go there to pick him up, and things don't go as planned. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give any spoilers. There is a lot of violence in this book. It's very dark. I think it may be the darkest in this series. At least that's what other reviewers have said. No less enjoyable. I did have one problem with it, and that is Matthew Corbett behaves in very un-Matthew Corbett-like fashion at a certain point in the book, and it just sets the stage for everything that follows. So it's like if you are a cop and you obtain evidence illegally, everything that follows from that evidence is tainted, right? So the case has to get thrown out and it's ruined. That's kind of how I felt McCammon was with Matthew Corbett. What he did in a pivotal moment was very un-Corbett-like. So therefore, everything that follows is tainted, because I don't think it would have happened that way. At least that's how it struck me on my one read of this book. Maybe on another read, I would be able to see cues or foreshadowing or other bits of evidence that indicate why Matthew Corbett would behave this way. I will admit that characters shouldn't act in just a predetermined fashion, and perhaps they should have a little bit of fluctuation. There's a spectrum that they're on. This is a range. Matthew Corbett is on this range of behaviors that are acceptable for this character. And maybe I'm being too harsh. I give this book 4 stars. It's still a tremendous read. I never thought historical fiction would be anything I'd love, but I did read The Alienist by Caleb Carr back in the day when everybody else read it. He's like a one-hit wonder. And I loved it. And then I read Angel of Darkness. I think that was a sequel to it. Love that as well. If you like that book, then you'll like the Matthew Corbett series, because Robert McCammon is going back in time and inventing the detective. That is who Matthew Corbett is. He is inventing the profession of detective. And I got to say, I love it. I don't know why it took me 20 years between reading Speaks the Nightbird and Queen of Bedlam, but I guarantee it ain't going to take me 20 years to finish the rest of the series. So I'm already on Providence Rider, which is the next book. And I got to say that some of the failings in this book are getting resolved, or at least some of the things I see as failings are already getting resolved in Providence Rider. So this could escalate to a 5-star read from a 4-star read in hindsight. But love Robert McCammon's work. Love this series. Go check it out. You'll be glad you did. Read Speaks the Nightbird. Obviously, you want to start at the beginning with a young Matthew Corbett. He's a magistrate's clerk who's kind of always exceeding the bounds of his profession and pushing into territory that perhaps is a little dangerous and a little unfamiliar, but always fun. And if you don't like Speaks the Nightbird, yeah, then this ain't your thing. You're probably just not going to want to be invested. I thought Speaks the Nightbird was excellent. I thought Queen of Bedlam escalated it. That's where you really get Matthew Corbett coming into his own and being more established. And so I rank Queen of Bedlam above Mr. Slaughter just a little bit. That one's a 5-star. This is a 4-star, but definitely not a letdown. I love it, and I have just nothing but high hopes for the rest of the series. And if you're watching this in 2024 when I'm posting it, Leviathan is coming soon, and that will end this series. That is the 10th book in the series. It will consist of 9 novels and 1 collection of short stories. So 10 volumes in all, and that is going to be done and dusted perhaps this year, maybe in 2024, maybe 2025. But I heard way back when Lividian was announcing that Brian James Freeman was doing a Matthew Corbett book every year, starting with King of Shadows, then 7 Shades of Evil, 7 Shades of Grey, 7 Shades of Evil, which just came out, and then Leviathan. That rounds it out. What a mournful time that will be. So go check it out. Go get it. And you know, there's no time machine, and this is the best thing you're going to get next to a time machine. Thank you for joining me this time. Hope to see you again next time. And in the meantime, stay frosty.